There we go. Happy Halloween! I hate these fangs. They're terrible. I might have to take them out. Sorry I'm a little late. I only gave myself an hour to do my hair and makeup, and it was barely enough time. This one feels like it's slipping out. I might have to take these fangs out. I'm sorry. I hate to do it because it's such a big part of Kat's character, but they're not cooperating. Okay, wow, the chat started before I got here. Hi, Neo. Hi. Oh, God, I don't have my glasses on. Kura. Satora. Kura. Hi, Kura. We're just going to have to leave it at that. Hi, Antoine. Bet Special Iron is lurking in the background. Hi, Oblivious. Halloween tomorrow, got a huge list of things to watch, including Goosebumps episodes and the Monster Squad. That sounds fun. Hi, Brandon. Hi, buddy. Yes, I am the cat. Whoops, vampire lisp there. Hi, Rabbit Camp. Wow, wouldn't I be running the stream? Thank you. Like I said, I think I'm gonna have to take these fangs out. Grand Canyon nostrils. Hi, Special Iron. Thanks, Kura. Hi, Jackie. They don't sound like they are comfortable. Hi, Adam. Yeah, they're really not. These fangs, I had these fangs made like 20 years ago, and my teeth were shaped totally differently then. And they used to just snap in, like they were custom made for me. They used to just snap in, and like my teeth have kind of changed shape over time, and I have to use denture cream to like keep them in now, or what do you call it? Denture adhesive to keep them in, and like the whole inside of my mouth is sticky. Hi, Mastery. Happy Halloween. Oh, thanks. Yeah, this was like first thing I did when I decided I was gonna cosplay as Kat is look for some fish earrings, because I think there were 2 different fish earrings he wears in season like 4 or 5, where there's one really long one, but I figured this was a good, you know, female version. Hi, Kel. Poor jack-o'-lantern died before Halloween, but you gave it vampire fangs. Oh, that's cool. I like that you put fangs. See if I can maybe manage to keep these teeth in at least for a while. They're probably covered in lipstick already. The earring she really hates. Hi, Total Obelisk. Wow, there's a lot of people in here that I don't recall seeing in previous streams. That's cool. Oh, thanks, Special Iron. This was mostly stuff taken out of my closet, like this shirt I already had. I think this necklace I bought for it. Of course, I bought the earrings, but like, oh, I should show you guys the belt. Oh, my camera isn't. Yeah, see, I made this cat belt. I think the main belt I already had, but I made this out of like foam and some kind of paper that has like a metal finish on it. So it's really cheap, but it looks pretty good usually. It's gotten a little dinged up, and it's made of foam also, and like some of the black paint has come off and it looks green underneath. But this jacket I got at a thrift store, and you can't really see the pants I'm wearing, but they look sort of like leather. They're leggings, but they kind of look like leather. So yeah, it's a very cheap thrown together costume, but for the most part, I think it turned out pretty good. I'd like to improve on it someday, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Perfect gift for Mechanoid friend, though. That scene was so cute where Crichton really appreciated that earring for some reason. Take them out. Don't force it just because we are here. I know. I want to give myself a chance to maybe get used to it. I haven't worn them in a really long time. It's one of your earrings. Red covered fangs just adds to the effect. Cat doesn't drink blood, though. Going to be looking at killer nurses, flayed dogs, and other nice things. Yeah. I wanted to start... I figured you guys would want to see my costume before I shrunk down my image, so... But yeah, we are going to be watching videos. Is it weird that I like pain because it's supposed to be not enjoyable? That's why it's pain, but only a little... Only a little. Yeah, some people are like that. Something about how, like, the pain receptors are similar to pleasure receptors or something. I don't remember. I don't remember the explanation for it, but... 1 a.m. in Finland. Oh, so you're on your way to bed. Just wanted to say hi. Okay, Sebastian, thanks for stopping by, and happy Halloween. Smooth, with a capital smooth. Except I thmoo. It's hard not to lisp when you're wearing fangs. Hi, Ash. I don't think I saw you post before. Hell of a belt buckle. Thank you. Cat belt looks really good. Thank you. I would love to, like, make one out of maybe, like, I don't know, clay or something that's a little more, like... Because this is foam and, like, the things that hold it onto the belt are always breaking off. I actually broke one of them, but fortunately it's still staying on. Yeah, I keep meaning to upgrade this costume and I never quite get around to it. Literally everyone alive, I like your name. Used to watch my videos all the time years ago, but haven't been able to much since you started college. I know how that is. Just wanted to say thanks for all the videos you put out that you've enjoyed. Awesome, thank you. Glad you like them. Thanks, Brandon. Oh yeah, it's mirrored, I forgot. Well, you know what it says. Love Silent Hill. Hi, Mary Nanor. I don't think I noticed you posting before. I love Silent Hill, but I'm not willing to play it. The lore and atmosphere and music are all good, though, yeah. Linkara used to be like that. He became a fan of Silent Hill long before he actually played the games. May seem cheap, but it's very effective. We couldn't mistaken it for anyone else. Thank you. Played almost every one of them, except the latest one, Downpour. I thought Downpour was pretty good. If Lee walks in with an H on his forehead, it'll be perfect. I actually started making Lee a Rimmer costume. I was making him the Captain Emerald one, but I never finished it. We haven't really been to any conventions in a long time, so... You can see that of his cat straight away. It's really awesome. Thank you. Yeah, this isn't based on any specific cat outfit. It's just sort of like... I was sort of aiming for, like, season 7-ish. Well, I can never get my hair high enough, so it looks more like season 6. Downpour was bright. I mean, it rained for most of the game. Even with a lisp, it sounds pretty good. I mean, Cat does lisp a little bit. Yeah, the only issue might be that it might be too heavy if I made it out of clay or something, so... I don't know. I don't know the best way to do a cat belt. If I could somehow have it made out of plastic, that'd be perfect, but I don't know. I don't know how that would work. Hi, Sebastian. You don't like Halloween as in the holiday? That's a bummer. I love Halloween. Honestly, obviously. I have given pleasure to the world because I have such a beautiful ass. That might be my favorite catism. It says tack. I want to start the videos, but I just want to get through the chat first, and you guys won't shut up. Oh, you mean when I was using stills? Yeah. Kind of a holdover from my husband's series, because I started making videos on his channel first, and I just kind of kept the... gimmick, I guess. I kept the gimmick for a while. Oh, hi, Scott. Thought you'd stay up a little longer. Welcome to the chat. Lee with an H on his head would have been hilarious. Love the Captain Emerald outfit, but the Lister outfit really suited him. The Lister outfit? Hi, Hershey. I'm doing good. And I look good. 2020 and 2021 are just the world's way of entering Silent Hill for real. 3D printing, that's a possibility. I don't have a 3D printer, but I'm sure there are places you could go to do it. Lee with dreadlocks hanging off the back of his head and a hand-painted jacket. Honestly, I think Lister would suit Lee a little bit better than Rimmer, but he preferred Rimmer, so I asked him which character he would want to be, and he said Rimmer, so... He does do a really good Rimmer impression, though, so there is that. He kind of has the hair, too. Only got to play Silent Hill 2 and 3 on the HD collection. Oh, that's a bummer that you only played on the HD collection, but it's better than nothing. Hi, Total Obelisk. Probably can't stick around for the whole thing. I live in the UK and it's pretty late here and I need to be up early tomorrow. You need to get up early on Halloween. That's a bummer. Or, well, maybe it is Halloween for you. I forget how it works. You thought I was different. I'm sure I look different without my glasses and with my hair up. I usually have bangs. Silent Hill 3 is my favorite. Silent Hill 2 and 3 are the best, I think. I can never quite decide which I like better. I dare you to do a cat dance? Nah. That's one thing. I cannot dance. That's the only thing. It's the only cat thing I'm not willing to do. Haven't you learned by now, Dina? We never shut up. Yeah, Silent Hill 4 was never quite my favorite, but I did go through a period where I was kind of obsessed with it, and I wrote a novelization of it. I just was kind of obsessed with the concept of Silent Hill 4 and how it was like almost great, but it just like it needed some changes, and so I wrote a novelization for it. How can we all shut up when you're wearing that awesome outfit? All right, quiet on the set. The only catism I know is the thing where he talks about the sound you make when you get your sexual organs trapped in something. Not only dare you to do a cat dance, I dare you to clip and speed it up like in Parallel Universe when the dog challenges him to dance. I know our library has a 3D printer and maker station. Might be worth checking and seeing. Yeah, maybe. Oh, and Rimmer dressed as Lister in Time Slides. Right. Hi, Sarah. Happy Halloween. Thank you. Yeah, you're definitely the minority with Silent Hill 4 being your favorite, but I get it. I love how unique it is and what they tried to do. Call Rimmer a smeghead for me. Will do, buddy. We have to get him to do a Rimmer impression someday. Yeah. Ew, no, Rimmer is just his last name. Weirdo. Dressed as Walter Sullivan one Halloween. I started on a Walter Sullivan costume, but I never finished it. But it was coming along really well. I had a wig that I was like probably got about halfway through, and I'd made the jacket. I think maybe I hadn't done the buttons. I don't remember exactly how far into it I got. It's in storage in Memphis, I think. Harry Mason cosplay, that's cool. A Lawnmower Man review, I don't know about that one. Hi DJ, I don't think I noticed you posting earlier. I would like to do a list of like the worst Stephen King movies, and that would probably be on it. Well, no, it would definitely be on it. I just have to watch it again because I don't remember it too well. Try salsa? I hate when I'm wearing lipstick and my lip itches. Like, I don't want to mess it up, but... Clocks go back tonight? I don't think they do for me. Nope. You must be in the UK or something. I think it's different for different countries. You say you can't dance. Well, of course you can't with that attitude. I mean, I'd love to learn. I don't know. I think I'm just too self-conscious, but I would love to learn sometime. I like Resident Evil. Yeah, I'm not a huge Resident Evil fan, but I like the first few games. All in all, 100% successful trip. Isn't Silent Hill 2 the one where the monster plays with another monster? Yep. Be cool if Silent Hill 4 was remade with some quality of life improvements and less backtracking. Yeah, I would love a well-done remake of Silent Hill 4. That's one game I could see them remaking. Cat meets himself in Camille. That might be the best cat scene. Hi, buddy. Yeah, Silent Hill Origins just didn't quite work. I think Silent Hill Origins is probably my least favorite Silent Hill game. I hate playing Silent Hill 3 on HD Collection. It sounds about right. Silent Hill 1 is scariest, 2 is the best story, 3 is the most fun to play. I'm still yet to play 4 all the way through. That sounds about right. I never did really play HD Collection. I started playing it a little bit, started playing Silent Hill 2 a little bit, and then I just never really got into it. Silent Hill games are weird indeed. Oh god, Dark Tower. I didn't even watch that one. Hi, Densetsu. No, you haven't really missed anything. I'm trying to get caught up with the chat and then I'll start playing videos, but I still haven't gotten caught up because people keep talking. Oh, salsa dancing. Got it. I was wondering why you were randomly mentioning salsa. It's in the UK where the clocks go back. Yeah, I think for us it's like in a week or two. Learn to dance like Napoleon Dynamite learned. Yeah, that might be the only way I would do it. Just like in my room with the door closed so no one can see. And no, I did not do a cat dance. But sir, we've lost Mr. Rimmer. Yeah. My favorite cat quote? It might be the beautiful ass one. That's a hard decision there. Any chance Lee will dress as Rimmer for Halloween? Nah. I never finished his costume. Hi, Dennis. I'm good. Silent Hill 1 has aged really well. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go ahead. I need to switch my, let's see, how do I do this? I think Art Stream was the one I picked. There we go. Let me, I don't know, should I zoom in? I guess I should zoom in on my face a little more. There's not really that much to my costume that you guys can even really see. It's mostly about the makeup and the earrings. Oh yeah, I didn't point out that, oh shit, I already changed the, hang on. I didn't point out that I made a big bow for the back. I figure a female cat would have a big bow. So yeah, that was it. What setting am I using again? Oh yeah, the art stream one, even though this isn't an art stream. Your Silent Hill videos are how I got introduced to you. Yeah, that goes for a lot of people, I think. Hi, Mr. Roboto. I like Idris Elba. I do kind of wish they'd pick someone to play Roland who actually looks like him. So, unpopular opinion there, but... Do you ever play Castlevania? Not too much. The only one I played a lot was Castlevania Bloodlines for Genesis. Mr. Roboto, I'm dressed as Cat from Red Dwarf. If you go back and watch the beginning of the stream, I showed it off a little more. What did I think of the adaptation of Stephen King's Thinner? I actually love Thinner. It's fucking bonkers, but I love it. Kind of aged a little bit badly with him using the word gypsy, because that's a slur, but they probably didn't know that at the time the movie was made. Been your general impression of General Audience's impression of the Silent Hill movies? I don't know, it seems like, what's my cat's costume? My cats are going as themselves. It seemed like when Silent Hill first came out, everyone liked it, but I think generally people have kind of come around and realized it's not really that good. And of course, everyone hated Revelations. Yeah, I love the Dark Tower novel, so I really don't want to see a bad movie version. Quick, let's get out of here before they get him back. The film is bad and the books are mostly brilliant. Yeah, the last one was kind of weird. I'm still not sure how I feel about it, but yeah, I love the Dark Tower series. You've only seen a couple episodes of Red Dwarf. Thank you, Alcoholic Alligators. I love your name. You don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. You know, I might watch that movie tonight. I think it's been a little while, maybe. I meant the bow in my hair. Introduces to Dina as an angry, judgmental GameStop employee. It took me a second to realize what you're talking about. Catwoman in Silent Hill? I don't know about that. Batman in Silent Hill would be interesting. He's got issues. Which Resident Evil and Silent Hill characters we have trade places? I don't know. Oh, you like my Natalie logo? Just don't start putting hashtag fuck Natalie. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about doing these Game Den videos was just like adding my name to the logo in some way and all that stuff. Oh yeah, the Silent Hill video that Phalos did. That was fun doing those crossovers and stuff. Yeah, Chris Pratt as Mario. Well, I mean, at least he's only doing the voice. When I first heard about it and saw people freaking out, I thought it was a live-action one. He's an odd choice for the voice, but not really that odd. Ready for 10 FPS, Dina. Stephen King inserting himself into the story was a bit odd, yeah. Oh, he got into me because of Channel Awesome. Tried to binge everybody. Glad you stuck with me. Thank you. I'm glad you stuck with me too. Is my cat green hats or red hats? I don't know. Yeah, you definitely don't want to watch Pet Sematary with kids around. It's pretty intense. Also, Dark Tower is your introduction to Stephen King. That's interesting. I haven't bothered with a Pet Sematary remake either, but I'll probably watch it at some point. Is there any such thing as the Natali Code? Yeah, Catwoman is pretty bad. Konami's old logo was bacon. I never thought of it that way, but it does look that way a little bit. Yeah, I think most people probably discovered me through my Silent Hill videos. Or Thrill Kill. I mean, the disclaimers are fun to do too, but favorite part of these videos was always how you'd recreate the menu screens and logos. Yeah, those are always fun to do. Oh, you liked my Sino video. Thank you. Okay, let's start this up. Oh, definitely Tim Curry. I mean, I like them both, but if I had to choose, probably Tim Curry.
Hey, this is Dina. Welcome to the den. Well, Halloween is upon us.
Let me know if the volume's okay on
this.
this.
You may remember that it was almost exactly a year ago that I did a special Halloween episode of Still Gaming where I covered Silent Hill. And now it's a year later, and I'm just as obsessed with Silent Hill as I ever was, so I figured why not make it a tradition. In the first Silent Hill, you played as Harry Mason, who was in a car accident on his way through the town of Silent Hill. He awoke to find that his daughter was missing, and you spend the rest of the game trying to find her. This is the sort of thing that, to me, really sets Silent Hill apart from other survival horror games. It's not about
Konami logo is bacon now.
Corporations. Well, okay, there is a cult involved, and they want to destroy the world and rebuild it into a paradise. Of course. But to me, that always felt like more of a backstory.
Oh yeah, that was my attempt at trying to do the... That was like supposed to be my take on Nostalgia Critics' Of Course gag. Except mine was Walter Sullivan. I don't know if anyone ever got that, but that's what I was going for.
It's a very personal story about this man and the hell he's willing to put himself through to get his missing daughter back. Cheryl. It's become a staple of the...
Oh, you found me through Twitter. That's interesting.
The main character is more or less an everyday Joe thrown into this hellish situation. What this does is it draws you in and makes it feel more real. Having characters who, at least on the surface, seem like they could be anybody, it works very well for a horror game. These people are much easier to relate to than a robot or a ninja or a member of a special forces team. And the better you can relate to a character, the easier it is to see yourself in their situation,
fine, good.
And the more scary.
Oh, it's a little low? Let's see if I can... Oh!
It also allows for more sophisticated storytelling, as you'll find out if you happen to play one of these.
Is that better?
Especially Silent Hill 2. As much as I loved Silent Hill, I figured it flew under the radar and would just be a standalone game. So back when the PS2 was about to
could have
come out,
avoided
I
that
started
crash.
hearing about
Probably
the
not.
second Silent Hill game, and that got me really stoked. In fact, Silent Hill 2 and Soul Reaver 2 were what convinced me to get a PS2 in the first place. The two most unique games I had ever played were both getting sequels around the same time. Wow. Silent Hill 2 made a gutsy move with the story. Actually, they made several gutsy moves, but the one you'll notice right away is that, aside from taking place in the same town, Silent Hill 2 has almost nothing to do with Silent Hill 1. I thought it was setting a precedent that every game would be an individual and not draw on the others much, almost like the Final Fantasy games.
Car accident.
Sadly, the series plays it pretty safe now and references earlier games to death.
Little Walter doing his best
This
Dan Bison
point in
impression.
time was its shining moment, where the series proved to have tons of potential.
Also, people did get it. That's
This
cool.
game absolutely blew me away. And 7 years later, it still does.
Yes, I'm dressed as Cat.
You play as James Sunderland, who,
Hi, Jay.
you know what, he tells the story better than I ever could.
I got a letter.
The name on the envelope said Mary. My wife's name. It's ridiculous. Couldn't possibly be true.
Okay.
That's what I keep telling myself.
Turn it down a little on my end, I think.
A dead person can't write a letter. Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago.
I would never let a clip run this long now.
Why am I looking for her?
People like to joke about this idea. He gets a letter from a dead person telling him to
Oh,
go to
Pet
Silent
Cemetery,
Hill,
cool.
and he goes.
This whole town was our special place.
What an idiot, right?
Does she mean the park on the lake? We spent the whole day there. Just the two of us, staring at the water.
If you're one of those people, you're seriously underestimating what a terrible loss can do to a person. Of course it's absurd. He knows this, and he freely admits it. But he goes along with it anyway.
Waiting for me?
Because the shred of hope that she could somehow be alive and waiting for him somewhere is all he has.
Oh, my cameo in Pet Cemetery, Phalos' Pet Cemetery 2
As you can
video.
probably tell already, the game starts out very slow. I think the idea is to sort of gradually ease you into it. The gameplay is pretty much run-of-the-mill survival horror.
Pillow
You
disease.
run around, you fight monsters, which you can either shoot or bludgeon to death.
Is it dead? What the hell is it?
And later on, there are some kind of interesting puzzles to solve. But the storyline is where this game really
Can they
shines.
copyright you for your own clip?
So
I
when
don't think
playing it for
so.
the first time, please give it a chance. It's totally worth it. At least play up to the point where you get to Rosewater Park. Why? Because this happens.
Mary? No, you're not.
Do I look like
I got a letter. It simply
No,
said,
my-
"Hello, my name is Rita Tickle."
I can't believe it. You could be her twin. Your face, your voice, just your hair and clothes are
my
different.
name is
If it had been on the N64, they wouldn't have
I look like a
had a choice with the fog.
So the hotel was your special place, huh? I'll bet it was.
Wow, that was easily the least appropriate thing she could have said.
I was just joking. Anyway, it's
Of course, it's not just a crazy coincidence that James just happens to run into someone who looks like his late wife and has a similar name.
You're coming with me?
Oh
Just
yeah,
like
the
first Silent Hill
fear.com
game,
thing. That
there's
was
a lot of
fun.
hidden meaning to things, and you really need to pay attention to every little nuance.
I'm all alone here. Everyone else is gone. I look like Mary, don't I?
There's a reason why Maria is similar to Mary.
Or maybe you hated her.
And there's a reason why she isn't exactly like her.
So it's okay?
Yeah, fine.
You also meet some other weird people,
it's
and
okay.
you can tell right off the bat that something is a little
Yeah.
I'm kind of lost.
Lost?
off about them.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Do what?
I didn't do anything. I swear.
As diverse as these characters are, they all have something in common, and paying attention to them will help clue you into the real reason why James is here.
Voice acting and dialogue
again,
is
there's
weird, but good,
James.
yeah. That's a good
I
way to
just love
describe it.
James.
It's you.
He's this awkward, lovable goof, and
Sorry.
he's
What's a
easy on
girl
the
like you
eyes.
doing
There, I
here
said it.
anyway?
He seems like a really sweet guy, and it's hard to believe that there's a reason why he's being made to suffer as much as he does in this game. But under that kind and shy exterior, is
Yes,
a
I got
highly
up to rate
complex character.
Ateco.
And this poor
I actually
guy
made
is
clips
just
of
up to
those
his
for my
eyeballs
on my
in
Twitch
issues.
channel, so you can still see my reaction to it.
Then of course there's Laura, who gets a kick out of teasing James and
You're the
making
one
him
who stepped
suffer.
on my hand.
I don't know. Maybe I did.
James, being who he is, just
Odd
takes
voice
it
acting
for the
adds
most
to the
part.
atmosphere. Yeah, I think so
But it's
too.
really important.
What is it?
A letter from Mary.
I actually really love the way these two characters play off of each other, and some of my favorite scenes are the ones where they interact.
You snotty little brat! Open up!
But thou must.
Why, you.
Laura?
PS2 was a good console. You fight face.
Of course, I can't talk about Silent Hill 2 without mentioning the infamous Pyramid Head. In my opinion, he is way overused post-Silent Hill 2. In fact, it would not have hurt my
Oh,
feelings
here we go.
if he just stayed in this game.
Almost
and
forgot
never
about
used it
this.
again. It's like the later games just rely on the popularity of this character. Now, if it were up to me, I would never do that. I would always have a completely
Here's a
original...
little bat.
What? Oh, him? Oh, it's only Boxhead.
Ooh.
Go away, I'm recording a video. But anyway, in this game, Pyramid Head is great. It's hard to go into detail about him without giving too much
It's like
away,
Boxhead just kind of
but
lives
he's
in my
like
house.
the co-manager of the messing with James's head department.
Crashes on my couch or
And
whatever, and I'm
wait.
always having to tell him to go away.
One hit with a great knife and you are toast. Though later you can find it and get to use it as a weapon yourself. It's not too user-friendly, but it's kind of fun.
The ominous Boxhead.
In part 2, I'm going to get more into the meat of the game. Symbolism, the characters, and all that. If you've never played Silent Hill 2 before, and this is starting to pique your interest, stop here, go and play the game, then come back and watch part 2. I suppose if this video hasn't convinced you to play
Make
the game,
Boxhead pay
you
rent.
can watch the rest purely for entertainment value, but I can almost guarantee that you'll be kicking yourself by the end if you do.
I'm glad Lee stuck around for his cameo. I figured he had left.
So James and the people he runs into
Oh yeah,
throughout
the brother
game
eye thing. That
all
was a
have
fun
something in
cameo.
common.
Excuse me,
I'm sorry. I
No,
was
it's
just...
okay.
The first person you meet is Angela, who you originally run into on your way to Silent Hill in the beginning of the game. She's almost
His eye, the
schizo
box
and tends
ghost.
to alternate between being skittish, enraged, and suicidal.
How do you know that?
Well, I just figured. Because this is where you're looking for. How else would I know?
He knows because you just told him, Angela, you weirdo.
She pretty much consistently regards James with fear and hatred for no reason that's obvious to him.
Well, you could just force me. Beat me up like you always did. You only care about yourself anyway. You disgusting pig.
Friends with that brown square
She has
thing, are
issues with her
you?
dad, and if you haven't figured out why by the end of the game, you obviously didn't see the writing on the wall. It's made pretty clear that she
Some
killed
people didn't understand that. They're like, what writing? I didn't see any writing, and I had to explain that it's a metaphor.
And this is what brought her to Silent Hill. Throughout the story, she's searching for her mother, but that aspect of her past is left completely
I
open.
mean my mother.
I have no plans to visit Silent Hill, no.
Except for the fact that she's been out of the picture for a while, and Angela has built her up in her
Rates are
life.
really cheap.
Sadly, but not unexpectedly, it does not end well for Angela. My preferred theory here is that the fire isn't exactly real. Just as James sees things that remind him of his torment, so does Angela. And now the illusion is so strong that James is experiencing it too, just by being in the same room.
Mama! Mama, I was looking for you. Now you're the only one left.
It's hot as hell in here.
You see it too.
Who's overacting?
For me, it's always like this.
So presumably, she thinks she deserves
Yeah,
to
they
burn in
intentionally
hell.
made
So in
Angela
her
look
mind,
older
she's
than she
constantly
was.
surrounded by fire. Huh, no wonder she's so unhappy.
Which is an odd choice, but
For whatever it's worth, she's named after Sandra Bullock's character in the movie The Net. I'm not sure what the reference is. I guess it's just because she's running away from something. You first meet Eddie in the apartment complex.
they can't see simple metaphors are definitely checking out the wrong games.
Makes a great first impression, doesn't he?
It is very
Like
sad.
Angela, he's also running away from something. And his mood changes a lot.
Hi,
But in his
Schism.
case, it's more of a gradual thing.
Like that stupid dog. He had it coming
Yep,
too.
that was Donna
There
Burke as
aren't any real
Angela.
sudden mood swings like there are with Angela.
I was just joking, James.
Seems like the more he talks, the more screwed up he
Anyway,
seems.
I gotta run.
You're going out there alone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie?
Eddie.
But unlike Angela, I don't think Eddie actually killed anyone. Well, no human beings anyway. And not before he got to Silent Hill.
Just because of the way you look. After you've been
Hi, Mad Morpheus.
your whole friggin' life.
Remember, the monsters may look human to him, but they're still monsters.
Are you talking about the monsters?
Monsters. They look like monsters to you?
Maybe.
Six Flags now in Silent Hill.
It's just a joke.
Anyway, just listen to what he says here.
Yeah, I killed that dog.
Okay, obviously he killed a dog. It's a sick thing to do, but wouldn't exactly land him the death penalty.
Died all curled up in a ball.
How can you sit there and eat pizza?
I shot him too, right in the leg.
And he shot a guy in the leg.
I didn't think his voice acting was bad.
He's gonna have a hard time playing football on what's left of that knee.
Doesn't sound like something he'd say if he actually killed the guy.
You need help, Eddie.
I'm gonna
Regardless
get
of the
pizza
severity of his
somehow.
crimes, he obviously feels bad about it.
Something bad? Why don't you just say you're sorry?
He may act like he's proud of it, and maybe on some level he is, but
I think the voice acting's good
No
too.
good. They wouldn't listen. Nobody will ever forgive me.
there's a reason why you first find him throwing up.
James,
Vincent is a snack. Yeah, he has bad teeth, but other than that,
Eventually,
he's not
Eddie
hard to
just
look
totally
at.
snaps.
you know what? Doesn't matter if you're smart,
God, the box head thing might have actually been Lee's idea.
ugly,
It sounds like something he would come up with.
it's all the same once you're dead. And the corpse can't.
I love Eddie's speech right here.
And you end up having to kill him. Here's an interesting fact about Eddie. Originally, they were going to make him this happy, goofy, cheerful character. Now, how they thought they were going to pull that off in a Silent Hill game, I'll never know. But that was the original plan, and so he was named after comedian Eddie Murphy. Although with the way he turned out, the name seems a little more derivative of real-life serial killer Ed Gein. Who was the
Ed Gein,
inspiration
I
for
know.
both Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Norman Bates from Psycho. Although as far as I know, the only Silent Hill character officially named after Ed Gein was, of course, Jasper Gein from Silent Hill 4. More on that some other time.
Killing a
Toodly
person ain't
pipsky.
No big deal. Just put the gun to their head.
And then there's Laura.
Oh yeah,
Laura is
when I
only
did it, the
character you
voices
run
of Rimmer and
into who
Lister,
is
that was
essentially
fun.
Innocent. Well, aside from being a brat.
Big fat blabbermouth.
What's a little girl like you doing here anyway?
Huh? Are you blind or something?
Oh,
So she
Laura.
wasn't really called to the town the way the others were. Silent Hill just looks like a normal abandoned town to Laura, and
Popcorn
she doesn't see any
music.
monsters or other oddities.
I can't believe
If you mean when I was talking about Eddie, it's because I mentioned Eddie Murphy, so I was playing the theme
Lucky
song
her.
to
Laura used to visit with Mary while they were
Oh,
both
the
in
song is called
hospital.
Axel F. I
She
can't
went to
remember
Silent
which
Hill
movie it was from, but it was from
voluntarily
one
to
of his
find Mary
movies.
again, and for some reason, she's not too fond of James.
Ow!
Hey,
wait!
The most important
She's
thing
such a
about
brat.
Laura is that her accounts of Mary don't quite match up with James.
I was friends with Mary. We met at the hospital. It was last.
And it causes some friction between them.
You liar! Laura, I...
Fine, don't believe me.
More on that soon.
Last year.
Laura is named after the main character in a book called No Language But a Cry.
Oh, I forgot about
the
this.
true story of a doctor's struggle to help a battered child who has never spoken a word because of the physical abuse inflicted on her by her parents.
Beverly Hills Cop, thank you.
Only
It
in a
didn't come to
silent
my
movie.
mind right away for
What's
some
that
reason.
letter?
None of your business. You didn't love Mary anyway.
Wait! How do you know Mary's name?
I'm looking for someone.
Of course, it
Yeah,
all
let's
comes
zoom
back
back
to
in.
James.
Someone
Oops, sorry.
very important to me. I'd do anything if I could be with her again.
And if you haven't played Silent
There we
Hill
go.
2, this is your last chance to turn back before the real spoilers start rolling in.
Still time!
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I
James
forgot
was
that I
called to
used that more
Silent
than
Hill
once here.
Not because Mary is alive, but because he needs to come to terms with her death and the circumstances surrounding it. There's a lot you can learn about James just by paying attention to all the little details. First, we're going to look at the monsters. These ones are called lying figures, and they represent James's inner torment. They also kind of resemble a person in a straitjacket.
It was Beverly
so
Hills
they could
Cop.
also
Somebody mentioned it
symbolize that
above.
James isn't quite right in the head. Mannequins are made of two sets of legs fused together in the middle.
Okay, Hershey, thanks
They
for stopping
symbolize
by.
The fact that James is sexually repressed. Hey, as much as you probably wouldn't want to admit,
Yes, I'm dressed
if
as
your
Cat.
wife was deathly ill for 3 years, you would be sexually repressed too. And apparently, James is a leg man.
I bastardized
Nurses
Posh
are a
Man. I
Silent
don't think I
Hill
noticed you
staple,
posting
but in
before.
this case, they probably symbolize the way James saw the nurses in the hospital while he was visiting Mary. Again, his sexual repression comes into play because they're basically sexy from the neck down, but faceless. Oh, and while I'm on the subject of nurses, I'm talking to you.
I won't have time to go
developers of
through all.
Silent Hill
Oh God,
games.
rant alert.
Please stop ripping
I
off
forgot
this
that I did
design
that.
and use some creativity for nurses who show up in later games. Enough with the fetishy nurses with grotesque heads already. Silent Hill and Silent Hill 3, and hell, Silent Hill 4 if you want to count that, did something different. There's no reason why you can't. Anyway, giant cockroaches. I got nothing. They're probably just a holdover from the first game. Although,
That's strange.
This is kind of funny.
Silent Hill 4 reveals that James's dad is a landlord, and obviously not a very good one.
I'm sure I heard something in there.
So James would probably be used to seeing cockroaches. Hey, there you go. Okay, I know. There's no way they could have planned that. But I think it's pretty cool, especially since it's an accident.
Yeah, I'm probably only gonna get maybe to the end
So
of
James
Silent
came
Hill
to
3.
Silent Hill 3 years after
Maybe
the
not that. Maybe not even that far though. It took longer to get started than I thought it would. 35 people are watching. Cool.
But I got a letter from her. She says she was waiting in our special place.
It's the earrings.
Diddy. The story starts off with this explanation, but it begins to gradually change into something else once Laura shows up.
Yeah, I heard that
For one
James
thing,
isn't
she's
dead
a
by
little
daylight.
Too young to have visited someone 3 years ago and be able to remember it vividly. Also, she claims it was only a year ago.
You liar! Laura,
And why does James get mad? Well, people who are deluded tend to strike out at those who challenge that delusion.
last year, Mary was already...
So maybe he's
Tormented
just
Souls, I
remembering
haven't
the
heard
dates
of that
wrong
one.
And he's really stubborn about it? No, there's more to it than that. Remember how I mentioned that James has something in common with everyone he comes across in Silent Hill? With Laura, it's obvious. They both knew Mary. But with Angela and Eddie, it's something darker.
It's easier just to run.
sides.
Giant roaches are
And
good
while
for the
James doesn't
environment.
realize it,
I'm not like you.
they do. Are you afraid?
Don't get all holy on me, James. This town called you too. You and me are the same. We're not like other people.
The duck happened to your screen?
So
I
what
don't
did
know.
James do that was so terrible? Notice that he spends a lot of time in a prison.
Eddie? Eddie?
Maybe the cockroaches represent disease and filth. I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it's something like that. I was just being funny.
At the end of this area, he's forced to kill Eddie, and what he says afterwards
You all
is
missed your
interesting.
yearly Silent Hill stint. Yeah. Dina Silent Hill stint.
Did you really die 3 years ago?
Cleansing?
Laura.
Bullshit.
How old are you?
That didn't even make sense.
Soon afterwards, after he finally has a logical
Oh, the screen
discussion
turned black
with
for you,
Laura,
huh?
So, Mary couldn't have died 3 years ago. Could she really be here?
Oh, yeah, I do know. I
James
do
comes to
remember
the
how you feel
conclusion
about
Mary
roaches.
couldn't have died 3 years ago, and he begins to hope that he hasn't lost his mind and maybe she
Pretty
really
much like
is alive
spiders are
inside
for
of
me.
him.
Silent Hill. She even showed me all.
Oh,
the
yeah, there was a
pictures.
lag on Twitch
She
yesterday.
really wanted to come back. That's why I'm here.
But eventually, the truth is revealed.
Roaches, why did it have to be roaches?
She's dead.
She died because she was
This
sick.
scene is so hard to
Killed
watch.
her.
But all is not lost. In the good ending, James does get to see Mary, and they have this conversation.
Forgive me.
I told you that I wanted to die, James. I wanted the pain to end.
Who would have played the second box set? I probably just would have had two leaves
Okay,
or
so now we
something.
get it. James came to Silent Hill shortly after killing his wife, who had spent the last 3 years being terminally ill.
Oh,
But he never
I think I actually know that story.
Right?
How Roach sent you to the hospital.
That's not true. You also said you didn't want to die. The truth is, I hated you. I wanted you out of the way.
I don't know that I'm scared of roaches. I just think they're really gross. It's more of an aversion than a fear, I guess.
James, if that were true,
Cockroach.
In my opinion, basically they're both right. Okay,
Wasn't the
let's back up
smothering
one more
censored in the
time and look at another
Western release? I don't think so.
Maria. She was created by James's subconscious. He wanted Mary back, but he felt that he
Hi,
needed to be
SCB.
punished. So this new version of Mary
Yeah.
looks and sounds like her, but she's mocking.
come on.
Oh,
You're supposed to be the
I gotta
big
rub her
man
tummy.
around here. How's a little girl like me supposed to help?
Demanding.
I'll wait here. I hate bowling.
I didn't come here to play.
up here and be in this
Hurry back. Okay.
She just flopped down on the
and
floor,
at
so I had to
times
rub her
downright
tummy.
Cruel.
Anyway, I'm glad you're alive.
Just look at how she tears into him in this scene.
Anyway? What do you mean, anyway? You don't sound very happy to see me. I was almost killed back there. Why didn't you try to save me?
And how he just takes it rather than standing up for himself.
No, one Lee is enough.
So scared my whole life. You couldn't care less about me, could you?
No, I just...
Stay with me. Don't
It's
ever
not just that he killed Mary. He can always rationalize
I forgot
that it was
about
the best
that.
thing he could have done for her at that point. It's the real reason for killing her. As if watching his wife suffer wasn't bad enough, she became verbally abusive towards him. Here he has a flashback of once when he visited her in the hospital.
James.
I brought you some flowers.
Oh, this bit.
I don't want any damn flowers. Just go home already.
Mary, what are you saying?
Look, I'm disgusted. I don't deserve flowers. Are you still here? I told you to go.
She yelled at him,
Don't come back.
He became fed up and walked out.
James. Wait. Don't go.
I wonder if that was the last conversation they had before... Yeah. Of course he doesn't actually hate Mary. He hates what the disease did to her, what it did to both of them, which probably manifested itself into a subconscious
You don't sound very
fear for
happy
her
to say,
and
bae.
helped with the decision to end her life. James is just such a complex and fascinating character. Is it just me, or does this game make you want to study psychology just so you can figure out what makes James tick? Okay, guess it's just me then. In a very early
Not
version
really.
of the story, the main character was to have two
I can see someone getting into
personalities,
psychology
Joseph and
because they
James.
played these
The
games.
name Joseph came from Joseph Barnett, one of many people suspected of being Jack the Ripper in the late 1800s. The name James is simply a derivative of that, according to Lost Memories. However, according to Wikipedia, there were 3 people named James who were also suspects. If that's not relevant, then it's one hell of a coincidence. Of course, the name Joseph ended up being used in Silent Hill 4, which was all about the ritualistic
Yeah, well,
serial
Mary
killer
was dying,
Walter
so
Sullivan,
obviously she
who
was not,
referenced
you
a few
know,
times in Silent Hill 2.
totally in her
I have no
right
idea if
mind.
they had Jack the Ripper in mind when they named the Joseph in Silent Hill 4, but if not,
I know you
it's
like
an
my Rita
interesting
Tickle
coincidence.
impression. That's why I keep doing it.
Mary is named after Mary Jane Kelly, former lover of Joseph Barnett and believed to be the 5th and final victim of Jack the Ripper. She was also the one who was the most horribly mangled. There are pictures on the internet, but I decided not to show them since they're pretty graphic.
The woman, the legend, Rita Tickle.
Weak. That's why I needed you. Needed
Yeah.
someone to punish me for my sins. But that's all over
I
now.
like to end every a segment on a cool
I
clip
know the
that's
truth.
appropriate to whatever I was talking about.
Now it's time to end this.
Now it's time to end this.
Pyramid Head makes one hell of a first
I
impression.
have not played Evil
In
Within.
the first cutscene you see him in, James walks in on him violently raping mannequins. From that point on, whenever he's around, he has a way of making his presence known. Pyramid Head is another product of James's need to punish
That
himself.
was a good clip.
So naturally, this particular monster resembles an executioner from the town's dark history, as seen in this painting that hangs in the Silent Hill Historical Society called Misty Day Remains of the Judgment. I'm guessing that the executioners didn't look exactly like this, but it's easy to imagine how the painting could have enough impact on James for this intimidating figure to be burned into his subconscious. Also, remember that the last battle with Pyramid Head involves fighting 2 of them. That's because it takes place after James kills Eddie, and now there's an executioner representing each of his victims. It's rumored that
You want to
Pyramid
make a
Head is
video
also
game, but you
based
don't know
on
how to
one of the
code,
Silent
animate,
Hill
or
cult's
create
gods,
models.
the Red God,
I know how that
Suchobara.
is.
This is a combination of an image shown in Silent Hill 3 and people figuring that the word red in the painting's description refers to him. I'm not saying that's necessarily true, but it's a theory that fans like to kick around. Pyramid Head was truly a thing to behold in Silent Hill 2.
Pyramid Head, the manifestation of James's time as an MLM
But
scheme.
in my opinion, his existence should have begun and ended there. The only reason to keep bringing him back
I need to
is
play this
cater
again,
those
too.
Fans who would rather see their favorite character/monster used over and over again rather than to give something new a chance. I actually thought Silent Hill 3 and Silent Hill 4 had the right idea. They basically took the idea of Pyramid Head, a humanoid monster that has a personality of sorts, but they did something original with it. This is why I've put all the other characters first. I want people to realize that as cool as
Game
Pyramid
called
Head
Post-Trauma,
is, he's
huh?
not the main thing that makes Silent Hill 2 great. Fans and developers of the games need to realize this if the series is ever going to get anywhere. Just sticking Pyramid Head in, or any other random monsters or concepts from the other games, is not going to recapture the magic of Silent Hill 2. Anytime I hear someone saying, I love Silent Hill 2 because Pyramid Head pwns, I just want to go after them with a pillow. Ugh.
There was a specific
Anyway,
YouTuber I was
one
making
thing I
fun
can
of when
say
I
about
said
Pyramid
that,
Head,
but
though,
she hasn't been
he
around
sure
for
likes
so
the
long I
other
doubt anyone
monsters.
remembers her.
A lot.
Whoops! I gotta turn the volume down for that. I don't want this video to get claimed or whatever. playing Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. Which is a good gag, but yeah, not a good thing to do. Oops, still not over.
Well, what can I say? Where Pyramid Head goes, inappropriate humor follows.
True.
Another thing is that he definitely manages to make this game even more adult than it would have been otherwise. And that's saying something.
Don't you want to touch me?
I don't know.
Come and get me. I can't do anything through these bars.
I know what you're up to.
I mean, you could do no.
Always the same. You're only after one thing.
See? Feel how warm I am?
I'm sorry. I feel bad.
So, the hotel was your special place, huh? I'll bet it was.
I don't remember where I had the volume. Let me know if it's not loud enough.
Ow.
What's wrong?
I just pricked myself.
Sorry, couldn't resist.
Oh,
Silent
right.
Hill 2 has definitely left a legacy.
Yeah, the joke there was that I was talking about sexual imagery, and then I cut to James saying I just pricked myself. I don't know how many people got that joke.
Fine. About a year after the game originally came out, it was re-released under the title Silent Hill 2 Restless Dreams.
Oh,
Aside from
right,
the full
Restless
game as
Dreams.
usual, it also contained a sub-scenario called Born from a Wish, where you play as Maria starting from her conception up until just before the point where she meets James.
But I'm scared to die. I'm so afraid of pain.
I would kind of like
You
to
better
be.
get over that quick.
I would kind of like to be a writer too, but I never quite get anywhere with it.
Frankly, I never really gave much thought to Maria. I guess I always just kind of saw her as a monster in a human disguise and didn't think about how she got to Rosewater Park and what kind of things might have been going on in her head.
Stop it. You're disturbing me.
I love his voice.
Thank God. I finally found somebody. Can you open the door?
No.
Born from a Wish treats her like a real sentient person.
I just want to see another human face.
Executioners and prison guards are the worst, most cruel jobs. Well, I don't know about prison guards necessarily, but executioners definitely. I wonder what it's like having a job like that. I'm sure they probably get drunk a lot.
Hemingway?
Oh, thanks, Daskame.
Baldwin.
And implies that before meeting up with
He has
James,
no sense of humor about
maybe
that.
she
I
wasn't
love
so
that
bad.
line.
I don't mind fighting for an impossible cause. Anyway.
The YouTuber I
He's
mentioned,
just getting
her
up
name
and
was
doing nothing.
Ultra
You
Neko.
think miracles really can happen?
This is Silent Hill.
If you're a fan at all, you need to play this. I admit I didn't check it out until very recently, but I am so glad I did.
You are Dina and her pillow of revenge.
An absolute must-see if you're a Silent Hill fan, or even just a survival horror fan in general, is Silent Horror by X Strike Studios. In case you've never heard of them, they're a small company who makes movies based on video games. The movies tend to be fairly simple.
Oh,
and low
X Strike
budget, but
Studios.
they're very non-Hollywood. If you like the idea of movies based on games but hate all those official movies that have come out so far, X Strike's movies are definitely for you.
Eli!
Technically, Silent
That was a
Horror
pretty good
covers the
stunt there.
first
That looked
4
like it
games,
actually hurt.
with some Resident Evil references thrown in here and there.
Wait a minute. What? No! Ah! Oh, but you could have warned me. I fell on my keys.
It pokes fun at a lot of
I don't know
common
why that's so
survival
funny.
horror elements.
Pain in my ass. We would have been out of here by now if we just busted in the door.
Little hope, huh? I'll keep that in mind.
You can't do that! Why not? You just can't.
But the main character, played by Brett Vanderbrook, who you might recognize as a certain Videoland offender, is mainly based off of
Dated
James
reference
from Silent
there.
Hill 2.
You guys should know about Captain S, and if only because I did a watch through of it a couple years ago at Christmas time.
Bad place for a key. Oh. I'm gonna try and fish it out. Are you sure? Hey, it'll only take a second. But trust me, I've got it in the bag.
I plan to give this movie a proper review at some point, but for now, I just wanted to throw it out there.
Pyramid Head definitely became a meme, yeah.
Ooh, it's like my mother's beef stew. Ugh, with
Double potatoes.
Oh. I found the key!
If you're a Silent Hill fan, you need to see this.
I heard ya!
And for $10,
Darren was really good in that too.
Personally, I like it a lot more than the Silent Hill movie, which also referenced Silent Hill 2 a lot. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan. I think Christoph Gans needs to be drugged into the street and shot. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh, not cool, Dina. I would never say that now, even though it was obviously
Now,
a joke.
normally I'm not a big fan fiction reader. A lot of you probably aren't either. Let's face it, fan fiction has a reputation for being poorly written, with a tendency towards weird pairings and characters acting nothing like they do in their respective sources.
Yeah, I found out later
But there
that
is good fan
that
fiction
story
out
was
there,
written as a
believe it or
joke.
not.
At
One
the
of
time,
few
I thought it
stories
was
I've
serious,
read that
though.
I really liked is a novelization of Silent Hill 2 as written by Ryan M. Usher. It's called Silent Hill 2: Letter from Silent Heaven. It's written in the first person, from James's perspective, of course, and has a wealth of detail. I discovered it because it was a while back, but I think I found a link on the GameFAQs message boards. But from the moment I clicked on that link and started reading, I was hooked. He does alter the dialogue a little bit and make
yeah,
it seem
Silent
a little less
Pyramid.
awkward, but in some cases I have mixed feelings about that. Some lines from the game definitely could have used some help.
Oh, no,
but
not
in
Silent
some
Pyramid. I'm
cases,
talking
I think
about,
maybe he uses a little too much artistic license with it.
Yeah, that Silent Hill
Also, he
2
has James swearing a
novelization.
lot, which I've seen some people complain about in the comments section. And I kind of have mixed feelings about that too. On one hand, okay, James doesn't swear in the game, but on the other hand, a lot of the swearing is in the narrative, and just because he isn't saying it doesn't mean he's not thinking it.
Yeah,
But
Konami
still,
should sell
it
the
does feel a little
franchise. I
out of
really wish
character
they
at
would.
times. But he is in the process of rewriting it. I think I may have inadvertently triggered a desire to do that when I emailed him and asked him if I could feature his
Baldwin.
story on my show. But he has been taking out a lot of the F-bombs, and I have to admit it does work a lot better that way. But even before the rewrite, this story is completely worth the read.
I feel like a version of Silent Hill 2 from Mary's
Mary's
perspective would be too depressing.
Little things he adds. Rather than try to describe it any further, I'll let it speak for itself.
I saw room 208. The door was slightly open. There was static noise and the eerie glow of television emanating
There's
from
the Guy
within.
Seehee cameo.
I gripped the door handle, about to enter, when a different kind of static suddenly scratched at my ears. It was louder and much closer, the radio in my pocket. I had built up a theory about what the sound means, so I spun around, through the bars, there. I didn't see it a minute ago, but now I could see it even without the flashlight. It was red and softly glowing. It looked like a man, somewhat, but its head was huge and strange, sort of like headgear, at least that's what it looked like. Darker red than the rest of the body, and enormous, and shaped like a pyramid, but with weird dimensions. The point at the top made it seem like a good 7 feet tall. It had on a dirty apron, a heavy butcher's apron. It was stained dark, with what could only be blood. It just stood there, barely moving.
No, I never did give Silent Horror a proper review. I always intended to, but I don't know if there's much point in doing it now since I don't know if you can get them anymore.
Waves of terrible feelings washed over me. Hate, anger, fear. I could feel how much
Rachel.
it hated me. It terrified me more than the straitjacket and the mannequin monsters had. Those others were abominations, but this pyramid-headed monstrosity in human form, this thing was pure evil. Hate and vengeance, and all of mankind's worst concentrated evil.
You mean the character Captain-S or Brett? Because I think I follow Brett on Twitter, but he doesn't post very often. I think he's a...
into this sort of static field. The pyramid head, it just
I think he's a
stood there,
bartender, and I think he does
waiting,
acting
staring
whenever he
at me.
can.
Hate and vile, damning thoughts coming out of it. I couldn't take it. I was losing it. I ran into room 208 and slammed the door behind me. I didn't stop to think about dangers that might be waiting inside there. I didn't care. Nothing could be worse than the buffeting evil aura of that pyramid-headed thing. I leaned against the door, closed my eyes, and tried to recover my senses, all the while choking back sobs from the abject horror of that thing.
See the video description for links to both versions of the story. To hear the rest of the story read by James, you'll just have to use your imagination. There is one more fan thing I need to show you. I actually found this one on accident while doing
Oh,
a
yeah,
Google
this.
search for good images of Pyramid Head to use in this video. Remember that painting you find in Silent Hill's Historical Society? A fan of Silent Hill who goes by Yoshio-kun13 on DeviantArt.
He actually showed up in my
actually
stream
made a
yesterday.
life-sized replica of the painting in oil. He even stretched the canvas himself since he wouldn't have been able to find one that was the right dimensions. Now that's dedication. He's done several other paintings based on the various paintings you see in the games, and he even held a Silent Hill themed art show last Halloween. I wish I could have seen these in person. He's even displayed it.
Yeah, I
in
obviously
hometown,
wasn't into fan
sadly,
fiction
after
back when I
moved from
said
there.
that, but I've since
I
read
probably
more.
just missed it too, with my luck. Again, see the video descriptions for links to his stuff. Oh, and I've done a little bit of Silent Hill art myself. Only one that involves Silent Hill 2 so far. But working on this video has inspired me to do more. So, we'll see. Here are some more
I
links
haven't
that
done
you
any
should check out.
fan art since then.
GameFAQs.com has a lot of plot analysis FAQs of various Silent Hill
Here's where I
games,
talk about
but
Silent
my
Pyramid.
favorite is one done by Silent Pyramid. He covers the first 4 games, the graphic novels, and the movie. But sadly, it stops there.
Yeah, that cameo
It
was
looks like
pretty
it hasn't been
amazing.
updated
I
in
can't
a
believe
very
he did
long
it.
time. I don't know if it ever will be again. And that's a shame, because even though I'm not a fan of Silent Hill Origins,
Yeah, that was
I'd be
cool of
curious
Guy to do
know
that.
what he thought of some of the imagery. But there is still a lot of information on there, and it would take you a while to read through it all. A lot of it is information taken from the Book of Lost Memories, the official guide of the first 3 Silent Hill games, along with speculation of how some things tie together. I don't agree with all of his theories. Even with Silent Hill, it's possible to read too much into some things, and I think he does that at times. But it's still
Yeah, the
really
full thing narrated by James would be cool, but
some of the
obviously I
info
wasn't going to make
in
Guy
this
do
video
that.
about the characters was taken from there, and it also made me take a second look at Silent Hill 4 a while back. It made me appreciate it more. Speaking of the Book of Lost Memories, there's a translated version of it on the internet. Anyone
Gotta
who
make
thinks
that
the imagery
pachinko
in Silent
money.
Hill is simply random and has no meaning needs only to go to translatedmemories.com to be proven wrong. And this is another place where I got a lot of the info.
Hello, my name is Ray Eteko. I'm behind on the chat, damn
Well,
it.
that just about wraps up this episode on Silent Hill 2. You know how I end every game den by saying something like, it's not the best ever, but blah 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 blah? Well, fuck that. At least as far as story
I
is
used to
concerned,
bleep out my
Silent Hill 2
swearing.
is the best game ever.
Obviously don't do
I mean,
that anymore.
How many video games make you contemplate how you might act, what you might do if someone you cared about was terminally ill? How many video games reference books on child abuse, name their main protagonist after Jack the Ripper, or cause you not only to sympathize but empathize with a murderer? This is really adult stuff. And not even so much because it's disturbing.
I'll probably watch a
but
bunch
because
of
it's
horror movies for
sophisticated.
Halloween.
And that's pretty rare in the gaming industry, even in the Silent Hill franchise. I may have spoiled a lot of the story, but there's plenty that I didn't talk about.
Bloody roar
Aside
pachinko.
from one little scene, I didn't even touch the endings. If you haven't played this game yet, just what the hell are you waiting for?
There's still time.
Exactly. That's it for now. See you next
I
time.
really used that gag 3 times, didn't I? Oh god, here
Hey,
comes...
Dina. Pillow fight?
No, that's okay.
Aww.
Here comes the cat ending. I got Lee to do that. I'm gonna turn this down. Just there's the outtakes. Turn it down during this part. Oh, thank you for the donation, Quimbley. I think I said that right. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, it's me.
I like that this video may be considered violent or cruel. That doesn't really make sense. Oh god, blistered thumbs. Let me get caught up on the chat really quick. Shit, I've only got 40 minutes left. I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way through Silent Hill 3. Plus, I have to go to the bathroom. Damn. Well, we'll just quit wherever we are when it's been 2 hours. I mean, I'll probably cover Halloween Kills next year. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Mr. Roboto. Favorite Halloween candy? Anything chocolate. I was always really happy to get chocolate. Yes, I've seen Halloween Kills and I loved it. Yeah, the painting was cool. I miss old YouTube. It felt like a frontier. Now it feels like well television. Yeah, exactly. I still have my James crush. Oh, thanks, Brandon. Yeah, I couldn't resist showing off all the Silent Hill 4 fan art I had done at the time. Yes, that was the actual guy who played James in that cameo. The one of Edge and Payet in the bar. Yeah, that was fun. I was like super into Panzer Dragoon Saga for a while. I did a lot of fan art. He does have a good voice. How is Guy Seehee doing lately, by the way? Well, I kind of had to stop following him on Facebook because he got into conspiracy theories and shit. Oh, thanks for the donation, Special Iron. Hope the Great Pumpkin gives you something nice this year. What the hell am I waiting for? I'm waiting for it to be released on either PS4 or 5. Yeah, it's a little harder to find now than it was at the time. Make a fanfic about Konami pachinko machines. Teeth, glasses, priorities, kids. Wow, there are a lot of people in here that I don't remember from previous streams. Hey, everybody. Yes, I'm going to continue. I just wanted to get caught up on the chat because I had gotten way behind. Yeah, blistered thumbs. It was definitely a long time ago. Chicks love chocolate. I mean, I guess I can't argue with that. I wouldn't word it that way myself, but... Wrong Turn in The Lighthouse. I haven't seen The Lighthouse yet. I've heard a lot of good things, though. Came home from a Halloween party, and I was my own version of the Riddler. That's cool. And thank you. Sorry, Special Iron. I just had a brain fart. I was hoping you didn't notice. There's a wrong turn 2021, someone tell Phalas. I noticed in the Silent Hill Wiki guy, see he fell into controversy. Yeah. I don't want to say too much because I appreciate him doing the voice work and he was a pretty good friend for a while, but yeah. I remember he was a 9/11 truther and like I was kind of hoping it kind of ended there, but it doesn't. He's like full on COVID denier and everything. Anti-vaxxer, all that stuff. I guess I'm a chick now. Oh, this is your first stream of mine you managed to catch. Glad you got to see this one. I always watch these around Halloween. I can't handle a lot of spooky, so this is the best way I can celebrate the season. That's cool. The world needs more Dina streams. Well, I'm trying to do them 4 times a week now. Excuse me, mostly on Twitch. Yeah, that does suck about Guy. I was disappointed. Needs more Dina in general. We were talking about Guy Seehee. The guy who played James in Silent Hill 2. Beginning to think he spent just a little too much time in Silent Hill. Dina mania. Yeah, I started doing streams like about 4 times a week a few months ago, I think. Silent Hill gets us all in the end. Okay, I will be right back. Okay. Oh, someone got shot because they asked somebody to wear a mask. That's fucked up. Hi, Susie. Thank you. I helped you rediscover monsters. That's cool. Yeah, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream was a good game. Oh, you played No Mouth because of my video. That's cool. Yeah, Adam had definitely suffered from the "and I must scream" trope. And he did deserve it. Broken Sword games? I don't think so. Okay, let's go back to videos.
Hey, this is Dina. Welcome
Yeah,
to
Harlan
the den.
Ellison's pretty awesome.
Believe it or not, there was actually a time when I wasn't a Silent Hill fan. I know, right? It's not like I didn't like the first two games. I thought they were great.
Did I ever consider
just
writing
wasn't
my own
as
original Silent
intense
Hill story? Not really.
about
I'm not really
series
that
as
good
I
of a
am now.
writer.
And I definitely wasn't making 45-minute long videos about them. But then Silent Hill 3 came out, and I went, hey, cool, another Silent Hill game. Bought it, started playing it, and then put it back down for whatever reason. I think it's partly because the first couple areas are such a pain. I just wasn't quite prepared for it. For reasons I'll get into another time, I eventually picked it up, and I was so glad I did. So, obviously it came out after Silent Hill 2. Before I go on, I should probably clarify something. I know I said that Silent Hill 2 was basically the pinnacle of the series, and it all started to go downhill after that. Well, it did. But it was gradual at first. Silent Hill 3's story isn't as deep, and it's not quite so heavy on the symbolism. It's a little more straightforward, but it's still an awesome game in its own right. It's probably the most difficult out of the first 4 games. The level design is really complex, and you really need to use your head to get through it. But it's a legitimate
Aged
challenge
2 years
not
and
cheap,
10,
so
thank
I
you.
generally don't mind. And it doesn't hurt that you get a lot of cool weapons to play with. This game really forces you to think about what you're doing, and just charging into an area
Geek out
can
and fangirl
sometimes
of
get you
Vincent.
Yeah, prepare to feel like a subway magnet. This game can be frustrating. The shopping mall and especially the subway station are a bitch and a half to get through at times. But it makes them
I wrote a
just that much more
novelization of Silent Hill 4. So like, you know, the story was already planned out. I just came up with, you know, prose.
great, it didn't look quite as good
So
as
it's kind of different when you're writing a story,
Silent Hill 3,
you know,
on
a
the
completely
other hand,
original
does a good
story.
job of pushing the system to its
That's the only time I've ever been
There's
able
no
to write
need for
something to
FMVs in
completion.
this game. It's all in-game graphics and it looks damn good.
Silent Hill 3 has a
One
slow
of the
start.
features
Yeah,
of
it
this game
does.
that's really cool is that it likes to add strange and disturbing imagery that's just out of your reach, either behind glass or in the middle of an abyss beyond where you're standing. It can't hurt you, but you can see it. whether you want to or not. There's also a few random little scares that don't have much to do with anything, but they're cool. The whole game is generally darker and scarier than Silent Hill 2, which was really more morose and depressing than anything. Not that I'm not.
That damn train station, I know. Heather go crunch.
Silent Hill 3 does not focus on the supporting characters as much as Silent Hill 2 does, but they're all interesting.
God, those
in their own
pendulums
ways,
suck.
and they add a lot to the story. It's more like the first game, where they help to form a backstory rather than having any similarities to the main character.
The memory of his cruelty is forever burned into my mind.
Yes. Yes. And that's why we need God.
What you call faith is nothing more than a child crying out for love. That's why you're all alone.
I love Vincent and Claudia. They're some of my favorite characters in the series.
You don't understand. None of you do.
And speaking of that, so far this is the only Silent Hill game where you play as a female character, Heather. And I love her to death.
Oh, hell.
She is so sassy and smart ass.
I love Heather.
What?
With a setting as dark and bleak as this game has,
Is every person here a mental case?
you need a little bit of comedy to take the edge off once in a while.
Hell if I know.
She's also one of the very few main Silent Hill characters to not end up with an unfortunate catchphrase.
Have you seen a little girl? Have you seen a little girl anywhere? Have you seen a little girl around here?
Her name's Mary. Mary? I'm looking for Mary. Mary? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
You gotta be shitting me.
Yeah, don't even get me started on Alex the Potty Mouth. But anyway.
Yeah, Alex's catchphrase is just like him swearing a lot.
I can basically relate to Heather more than I can to James. I love you, James, but you have issues.
Sorry.
Now I keep comparing this game to Silent Hill 2, partly because it came directly afterwards, and also because Silent Hill 2 was the last one I did an episode on. But Silent Hill 3 has almost nothing to do with Silent Hill 2, aside from the
If Silent Hill 3 were made today, would it have more fan service? Probably not.
Oh, forget it.
I mean, a lot of game developers are going for less fan service these days, so...
Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
That was a nice reference to Silent Hill 2 there.
Actually, as odd as it seems, Silent Hill 3 is a direct sequel to Silent Hill 1, although it doesn't become obvious
Alex the
till
potty
about
mouth.
halfway through the game. It set this odd precedent where, well, Silent Hill 4 was not a direct sequel to Silent Hill 2, but it brought to life some of the ideas mentioned in Silent Hill 2. Now, I highly recommend playing the first Silent Hill game if you can get your hands on it. Sure, the voice acting is bad and the graphics look dated by today's standards, but it has a great story and atmosphere. You don't have to play Silent
Hi,
Hill
George.
before playing Silent Hill 3. The game is pretty well self-contained and does a good job of recapping the first one so you understand what's going on, but you will appreciate it more if you do. And that's about as far as I can go without mentioning any spoilers.
Loot
so,
boxes.
once again, if you haven't played the game and this has piqued your interest, stop here, go and play the game, then come back and watch the
No,
rest
I've
of the
never
video.
heard of that person.
It's ultimately up to you, but just remember, no matter how much of the game I may include,
Right into
there's
that
always
toilet.
plenty that I left out. And I'll be including less spoilers this time around. See you in part 2, hopefully after you've played the game.
Over 40 people watching, what the hell? Not that I'm complaining, I'm just surprised.
Unlike Silent Hill 2, where there are important parallels between the supporting characters and the main character, in Silent Hill 3, the supporting characters help to fill in the backstory of the main character. So I'm gonna have to break tradition and talk about Heather first, otherwise it'll be hard to make sense out of the other characters. This is your last chance to turn back. Tell him, Johnny Smith. Still time. Thank you. You really don't know anything
I'm
about
such
the
a
main
dork.
character going into Silent Hill 3. She just seems like some random girl in a mall.
I love you too, Dad.
But then,
Heather, I need to speak with you.
Yeah, Symbol's leather pants is kind of a weird thing.
A detective? Really? Well, nice talking to you.
now that's kind of an odd reaction, isn't it? If a detective sought you out with information about your past, even if you wouldn't want to know, wouldn't you at least be curious enough to hear him out? I guess Heather could see him as a potential predator or something.
My daddy always told me not to talk to strangers.
This is very important. It's about your birth.
But it seems like this would be a pretty elaborate way to get somebody's attention.
Yeah, I liked how Harry looked
Maybe
in
it's just
Shattered
me.
Memories too.
Are you still
October's
following me?
Dina season, it sure is.
Scream?
She makes it a point to get away from him, and it's not long before, in typical Silent Hill fashion, she finds herself alone.
You saw Halloween Kills at a drive-in during a thunderstorm. Holy shit.
Get the hell away from me!
By the way, I'll admit that I'm not totally enamored with the monster designs in Silent Hill 3. Some of them seem a little too random and abstract, even for a Silent Hill game. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out what the deal is with the closers, aside from being very similar to the entrance from Silent Hill 2, only above ground. The only theory I can find on the internet is teddy bears.
Oh, hi, little Miss Gamer.
I don't see it. Oh, and I hate them. They're huge, hard to kill, hard to run past, especially in tight corridors. But the rest of the monsters.
Oh yeah, those
do
closers
have
were
ways
annoying,
to
weren't they? I
imply some
haven't
things about
played the
Heather.
game so long,
You'll
I'd
understand
forgotten.
the significance in a little while. A lot of the monster designs imply dual personalities, like these dog-like creatures that are split down the middle and held together with bandages. Then there are the pendulums, which I hate with a passion.
I didn't get the
hear them
impression
coming
that
because
Douglas
they
was
make
the
a
one who
noise that
shot his
sounds like
son.
someone perpetually beating a cat to death with a bagpipe. They look insectile.
I mean, he's a
at first glance,
detective,
but
not a
upon
police
closer
officer, so I don't
inspection,
know
it
why.
almost looks like two human torsos fused together with a head at each end. Insane cancers seem to symbolize
I don't know why he would have been
sickness
the one to
and/or
do that.
pregnancy. They're easy to avoid, but I prefer to beat the crap out of them because I get a kick out of seeing them deflate afterwards. And of course, there are nurses. I don't really have much to say about them, except thank God they don't look like the nurses in Silent Hill 2, and the movie, and Silent Hill Origins, and Silent Hill Homecoming. Yeah. And finally is the novelization.
So mad about
the
those
least
nurses.
Scary, weakest, and most inept monsters, and I use that term.
Oh yeah,
in the game.
Chocobo
I
music.
seriously get happy
I love
when
that
these things
music.
show up because I love bludgeoning them. Plus, they're just funny.
Let him just follow me around. Oh yeah, there's a really big one.
But there are some pretty cool bosses.
Those
including
things are
some
so
demonic
awkward.
Carousel horses who look like they have hooks through them. And my favorite, the split. It's very similar to the split head boss from the first game, only pretty phallic looking. Believe it or not, I once beat this monster with a steel pipe. I don't know how the hell I did it. Trial and error, I guess.
True story.
Anyway, Heather has an interesting time getting home. From the mall, she goes to the subway station, gets stuck in a random subway that drops her off at some underground area, which leads to the sewer. that
Okay,
leads
George,
to a
thanks for stopping
construction
by.
site
You're
that
probably already
leads to an
gone.
unfinished office building, and from there she finally makes it home. I like to think this happens to her every time she leaves the mall. Can you imagine that? Be home by 4, Heather. Sorry, Dad, you should have told me sooner. They closed down the 3rd floor of the unfinished building. By the time I find something to hold the elevator doors open with and climb down a rope, it'll be at least 5. Okay, I'm easily amused. Along the way, she meets 2 unusual
Yeah, apparently
people
Donald
who
Pleasance
seem to
didn't
know
want to be
more
in
about her
Halloween,
than
and he
she
was
does.
drunk a lot.
And your true self as well.
I know about your past, too.
Which surprises me because I thought he was really good in it, and he was in all the sequels. So maybe after the first movie, he, liked it better.
That's why I'm asking. Dad, I'm home.
When Heather finally gets home, she
Listen,
starts to
something
relax,
really
probably
crazy
Yeah,
thinking
Shattered
everything's
Memories did have a
okay
good
now that
ending.
she's with her dad again.
Dad? Dad?
But this is a Silent Hill game, so
Yeah, the nun bodies are weirdly cute. They're so awkward. Aww.
Now, if you've played the first Silent Hill game and you've been paying attention, there are a lot of interesting clues that link Silent Hill 3 to the first game.
SMG?
It's being invaded by the other world. By a world of someone's nightmarish delusions come to life.
So Harry didn't tell you anything.
But the most obvious one is the fact that the dead body of Heather's dad bears a striking resemblance to someone we've seen before.
Phallic symbol,
Yep,
phallic
it's
symbol.
good old Harry Mason. And we learned some interesting things about him in this game. 5 years after the events of Silent Hill, Harry had another run-in with the cult that ended with him killing a cult member to save his daughter.
Someone
and
thinks that
himself.
Silent Hill 3 has a lot of references
go
to male
Harry.
violence?
You knew he had it
I
in
don't know
him.
about that.
And there's a lot more I could say, but I'll save it for later. So they simultaneously.
I know Donald Pleasance was amazing in Halloween,
and
which is why I was so
Not to mention that he totally
surprised
got
to hear that he
shafted in
didn't
the
want to be in
movie.
it apparently.
Yeah, I've heard the reasons. I did my homework, and I'm not buying it. There is no justice in the world. Now, at the time I'm making this video, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, the reimagining of the original Silent Hill game, has not come out yet. I'm not super enthusiastic about it, but I reserve judgment for now. I have no idea if we'll finally be able to see Harry in a good light while he's still alive. All I can say is that, for better or for worse, he looks pretty geeky. But at least they didn't give him a sex change this time. Originally, Harry was to be named Humbert. What? Well, it's a reference to the protagonist in Stanley Kubrick's film Lolita.
I revisit this when I cover the first Silent Hill game because I understood it a little better
James
then.
Mason. No way in hell is that a coincidence.
Nah,
In
that's
the
a
end,
coincidence.
They decided that the name was a little too weird and unappealing to use, so they named him after the guy who came up with the name in the first place. Fair trade-off, I guess.
No budget, low budget film made by nobody director. That's true. Probably felt it was beneath him or whatever. Yeah, Humbert Mason.
Soon after finding
That's
out what
true
happened
about
to
Betsy
her
Palmer.
father, Heather discovers that Claudia, the woman she met in the mall earlier, is responsible for his death. Claudia distracts Heather by throwing a monster at her and then telling her that she'll be waiting at Silent Hill. And she makes her escape. Once the monster is dead, Heather goes back inside. to
Humbert,
find
that
out.
sounds way too Germany and I'm German.
Then don't say anything.
I'm fine. So just get out of here and leave me alone already.
Sorry.
Aw.
Go!
If it make you feel better,
I'll probably end after this video, but we'll see.
When I find her, I'll kill her myself.
When Heather says that she's going to Silent Hill so she can kill Claudia,
revenge doesn't
The voice actor for Harry Mason was in Symphony of the Night. Yep, he played Dracula.
Douglas tries to talk her out of it, but he knows it's pointless, so he insists on at least giving her a ride there.
Okay, Brandon, thanks for stopping by. Happy Halloween.
Here, take this too.
What's this?
Yeah, Heather's cool. I like her.
Your father was holding it.
And this is where some more interesting things are revealed. So, if Harry Mason is Heather's dad, then who is Heather? Well, fortunately, Silent Hill 3 does a good job of explaining that for anyone who didn't play the first game.
Yes, he said the line, "What is a
It's
man?"
interestingly symbolic.
Enough talk, how about you?
Anything look familiar about this setup?
Feeling sick?
My head's pounding like the worst hangover ever.
This Claudia's a villain of Shakespearean complexity, yeah. Yeah, she wasn't quite as good in the movie.
Remember my childhood. Thing terrible happened in Silent Hill 17 years ago.
Yeah, Heather was a really good character.
A woman named Dahlia. She tried to summon the ancient god of the town. She offered up her very own daughter.
Where Tara ran off to. Probably on the couch.
Maybe so, but it worked. The girl gave birth.
Heather's one of my favorite characters in any work of fiction. I like Heather because I can kind of relate to her a little bit. She's snarky like me.
Powers?
Her classmates called her a witch. She could make things happen with her mind. She could kill people just by wishing for it. But in the end,
Boy, I really let clips long run back then, didn't I? Although at least I'm like, you know, adding to it by adding the clips of the first game. Heather's so damn relatable due to her levels of sass. Yeah.
God could be killed by a human being. But I think Claudia's trying to do the same thing again.
I actually really liked Sonic. It wasn't perfect. It played it very safe, but I liked it. I don't play the Uncharted games, so I don't really have an opinion on that one.
After the god was killed,
Summoning ancient evil gods never works out well, does it?
she was holding a baby in her arms.
I mean, I thought the actress who played Heather in the movie did a good job with what she was given, but yeah. Character-wise, she's better in the games. We also need some snark in the face of hell demons. She's all stress and sass. Yeah, that's a good way to describe her.
He loved me just like I was his very own daughter. Even though he didn't know who or what I was. It was so sudden.
Like every movie with Jim Carrey playing Jim Carrey at his best. Yeah. That's what that was, really.
This scene is that it shows us another side of Heather. She's pretty rough around the edges most of the time, but as soon as she lost the only person in the world who mattered to her, all that sass melted away, leaving this raw display of emotion. It reminds me a little bit of James. Entirely different situation, of course, but he's another character who doesn't show a lot of emotion until he's pretty much at the end of his rope.
I wanted you out of the way.
Then it all comes pouring out.
I wanted my life back.
And it's pretty heart-wrenching in both cases. Silent Hill 3 has great characters, and they're really what keeps the story going because there's only so much to the story itself. It's generally more simplistic and easier to follow than the first two games. Not that that's a bad thing, though. There's nothing wrong with having the occasional Silent Hill game that
Harry is forced to kill his own daughter, but Alessa forks over a new one.
It was the first time the franchise had done that, and they did a good job of not making it feel like they were rehashing anything.
Yeah, Sonic movie was good for a video game adaptation.
But it does add a little something to the whole story, and it gives it some nice closure at the end. Unlike Silent Hill Origins, which, while it was supposed to be a prequel, it seemed like it couldn't quite make up its mind about whether it was a new story or a retelling of the first
Origins.
game. And it felt like it was mostly made to cash in on the movie, which really did need to be made. But I digress. Heather, in particular, is an interesting character, if only because she's so different from the main characters from other Silent Hill games. If you think about it, there is a Silent Hill main character archetype. It's usually a good-looking young man in his early to late 20s. He's generally kind of shy and awkward, thoughtful and or introspective, usually kind, and tends to be protective of the female characters, or at least one of them. Henry's the most extreme example, but the others fit at least most of that description. Yes, even Alex the potty mouth.
You gotta be shitting me.
But Heather just
Yeah,
totally
Murphy
flies
fits
in the
pretty
face
well
of
in
it.
there too, although
She
Murphy
could
was a
not
little
be
more
more
snarky like Heather.
Aside from being female and really still a kid, She's crass, and at least in the beginning, she's superficial and basically self-centered.
I can't feel sorry for you because you dragged me into
Safe and
this.
serviceable. They're as close as we've gotten to
Very
perfect.
likable, but somehow she is anyway. I think it's because a lot of us would like to have
Choo-choo boarding the Fields train.
That's all there is to it.
Really?
This video that made me see the similarity between the opening to 1 and the car scene in 3. Cool.
There are some interesting preliminary drawings of her in the Book of Lost Memories. It doesn't look like they changed her look a whole lot through the process. Originally, she was to be called Helen.
I'm sorry,
but that
Major.
name
What was your name?
too
Major
old
Ben.
fashioned.
Nobody cares.
Not a name you would expect a 17-year-old
That was so
to have.
funny.
So, at the last minute, they ended up giving her the same name as her voice actor, Heather Morris. Now, I've heard from many, many sources that she returned to voice Eileen Galvin in Silent Hill 4, but none of those sources are official, so it could just be...
Yeah, it wasn't her.
If anybody knows for sure and has some kind of official source to back it up, please let me know. Every character in Silent Hill 3 has a corresponding tarot card. Heather's is the Fool.
Yeah, I watched the new, I did watch the new Mortal Kombat movie. I thought it was pretty good, but I didn't actually like it as much as the first. But I thought it, it did a good job with what it was trying to
I
do.
think that her recklessness in fighting against Claudia and, in a certain sense, her genuineness are applicable to
If that makes any sense.
Your stinking mouth, bitch!
Oh, I guess we can squeeze in one more. Actually, how many of these are there? Oh, actually, there's just one more. Oh, I guess we can finish Silent Hill 3. I'm gonna go over time a bit, but oh well.
Douglas is, admittedly, not one of the more interesting
Of course I want a latte. I like the way you make them.
And has his part in this story. He
That
was
was such a good
detective hired
line.
by Claudia to find Heather. But once Heather's dad is killed indirectly by Claudia, Douglas feels partly responsible, so he decides to help out Heather. And
Yeah, Murphy was a great character.
I hate to think of what sort of fan fiction has been written about this scene.
Lied to me about Heather, lady.
Toward the end, he
Oh, here's
confronts
where I talk
Claudia
about Douglas.
and ends up getting himself injured. In the end, all he really physically did once the game started was give Heather away.
Yeah, I did have a pretty
Once they
big
meet
crush
up
on
again, we
Henry.
learn something interesting and kind of ironic about Douglas.
Remind me of my son.
You said nobody was going to cry for you.
Silent Hill 3 had a great soundtrack.
Dead people don't cry.
So we have a father without a child and a child without a father. No wonder they end up getting along so well.
Yeah, I think if Douglas was the one who shot him, he wouldn't say the kid got himself shot. He would say, I thought that'd be a very, very passive way of saying I shot him.
In typical Silent Hill fashion, the
I don't know,
girl
that's
is
just
left
my
wide
thought.
open, but the sentimentalist in me likes to think that he adopted Heather, if only for a year or so.
Don't die on me, okay?
Douglas was named after Douglas Fairbanks, an actor from the 20s, mainly just because the name suited him. And he was modeled after Ian Holm.
Oh yeah, definitely better than
Giancarlo
Mortal Kombat
Jr.
Annihilation.
He's probably the one character in Silent Hill 3 who didn't undergo any serious redesigns. Douglas's tarot card is the Hanged Man, which means self-sacrifice, perseverance, and selflessness. Douglas's ironic fate is expressed by that card, as he sticks his nose into Heather's affairs, but in the end is not...
Okay, Schism, thanks for stopping by. Good luck with your stream.
Remember me and your true self as well.
Well, they definitely left it open for Robotnik to come back in a sequel, so...
The one who will lead us to paradise.
I'm wet, I'm cold, and there's a fish on my head.
Next to Heather, Claudia is really just about the most important character in the game, not to mention possibly the most compelling. Naturally, she comes off as this dark figure, a villain, and she does some terrible things.
There is another reason.
Harry would be everyone's daddy.
But as the game progresses, aspects of her background are revealed.
Yeah, that was an odd choice that they had they created a main character for the Mortal Kombat
Leonard.
I saw the way he
remake.
hit you. Kicked you. Made you cry.
Who's an elitist and fanatical about the cult's religion.
To the voice of God will be given the keys to paradise.
Of course.
Outlet was her best friend, Alessa,
that didn't really
in a similar
fit.
situation. But then Alessa was taken away when Dahlia sacrificed her. Claudia turned to the cult's religion and started listening to Dahlia.
Oh yeah, they used tarot cards in
She began to believe
Dark
that
Tower
the world
series
really
too,
was a
didn't they? I'd
terrible
forgotten
place,
about that.
And only the cult's god could end everyone's suffering. Read hers. She subjects nobody's business.
Yes. Yes. And that's why we need God.
And yet
Oh
the
right, that
only
is
way to do
Donna
this
Burke
was to
again, isn't it?
prolong
I'd
the
forgotten.
less suffering.
I don't expect to be saved. And that's fine.
She's putting it on to be more dramatic, like us Brits tend to be.
The pain that I've caused you, I deserve no mercy. Even if it was to save mankind.
Yeah, I really didn't like how they handled Douglas in the movie. I even kind of like the actor who plays him. I've seen him in other things, and he might have done well in that role if he had more than like 5 minutes of screen time.
Sacrifices were made. Those are my sins.
Even Heather was moved by that speech. So yes,
I'd say
Claudia's done
GLaDOS
some
counts.
terrible things, but it was at the expense of her own soul, so she could save the rest of humanity.
Yeah, I'm always trying to forget the Dark Tower movie.
She's named after Claudia Cardinale, an Italian.
Eddie was a prisoner, Susanna was the Lady of Shadows. Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Christie, but they
I've forgotten
decided
about
name
that.
was a little too cute. Yeah, she doesn't really look like a Christie.
Definitely not a
Prior to
Christie.
the name Claudia, I think of Kirsten Dunst's character in Interview with the Vampire, so the name just screams villainous to me. She's modeled after Julianne Moore. Going by the preliminary drawings, it looks like they had a tough time nailing down her look. What they ended up going with is very reminiscent of Dahlia Gillespie, which I'm sure is no coincidence. Claudia's tarot card is, naturally, the High Priestess. The card means mystery, faith, and dogmatism. Doesn't it seem that the self-righteous way that Claudia behaves as a consequence of being too genuine is in accordance with the meaning of the card?
Homeschooled by a British teacher. That could be.
Is it so hard to believe that sympathy could be born out of pain and suffering?
She has a more convincing British accent than like half the characters in Cat Lady.
Why do you cling to this corrupt world? You know that only God can save us.
Silent Hill 3 probably have my favorite soundtrack in the series. Yeah, for me it's a toss-up between 3 and 4. I think they both have really good soundtracks.
I admit I saved him for the last because he's my favorite. He's not as complex and compelling as Claudia, but, well...
It's a bit far.
Closer than heaven. Oops, sorry, hit my mic. I'm trying to be all
He's an
cute.
aristocrat who helps run the cult's church while
So of
spending
course
the
it
money of his
backfired.
donations on himself. There's no moral ambiguity here.
Didn't really play
He's
the
just
fear
bad.
games.
Go ahead and kill this crazy bitch. This demon who claims to speak for God.
He doesn't inflict any physical harm on anyone. I doubt he really could, but...
Please, calm down.
He's distrusting, hateful, and smug.
Love the kind of antagonist that is accepting of their
God
own
damn it, I
death
love him.
because they see themselves as just a
He
small
likes to
player
show
in the
up
grand scheme,
unexpectedly
yeah.
and give vague instructions.
She was totally brainwashed by that crazy old hag.
Show off his knowledge without really relaying much of it.
I guess crazy old hag is a bit harsh. She is your mother, after all.
He also has an interesting part in this game. He makes a statement that takes everything you think you know about Silent Hill and turns it upside down.
Excuse me.
An offhand comment that affected the rest of the series in a big way.
Yeah, you're definitely not a supervillain,
ready for
Special
it?
Iron.
Let's see the setup first. He shows up in the church's library when Heather is there. Listen to her groan when she realizes that it's Vincent who just...
Dark Tower should have been a series or on a streaming service. Yeah, that would have
Vincent makes
worked.
it
I don't know
clear
why
that
they
he
didn't do
wants
that.
Heather to kill Claudia for his own benefit.
So you've been using me to stop Claudia, is that it? Do your own dirty work.
There's a battle of wits going on here. Currently, Heather is winning because the more Vincent talks, the worse he makes himself sound. So she just sits back and lets him dig himself deeper.
Oh, really?
I'm just looking out for myself. Everyone does it.
But then he turns it around on her.
Don't stand there looking so smug. You're the worst person in this room.
It was such a great scene.
You come here and enjoy spilling their blood. And listening to them cry out. You feel excited when you step on them and snuff out their lives.
Are you talking about the monsters?
Here we go.
Monsters? They look like monsters to you? Don't worry. It's just a joke.
Ooh, chalk one up for Vincent. Just look at that triumphant smirk. So is it really just a joke?
What's wrong?
I did not watch the Stan remake. I mostly
Unlike-
heard bad things about
As with
it.
everything else in Silent Hill, it probably shouldn't be taken at face
Claudia,
value.
true believer and zealot that actually has a sense of morality.
Suggest that perhaps the monsters are people and only appear to
Tis
be
a pity
monsters
real-world
next to
religious
town
extremists in
lights.
America lack such humanity. I mean, she was willing to kill off all of humanity
Also,
to
Heather's
save
pretty
them,
quick
so
to
I wouldn't
believe
say
in all things
that.
considered. One has to wonder what she was
I
really
wouldn't want any real-life people to be like her.
She seemed pretty accepting of the idea that Claudia's dad is a monster.
Is every person
A smug, repulsive elitist into a bland love interest.
Well, I guess you're not a person anyway.
Now I'm sure it doesn't apply to all.
Born and raised in
I
the
wouldn't
UK, but you
think
talk like an
monsters,
American?
giant
That's interesting.
cockroaches and flying enemies are exempt from this. But the more humanoid ones, probably. Vincent is named after actor Vincent Gallo and modeled after Ethan Hawke. It really shows, in my opinion, more so than the other characters who only bear a passing resemblance to the actors they were modeled after.
I think it would have been kind of cool if they had aged up Vincent a little bit and had Ethan Hawke actually play him.
Can I just say that
Yeah, they
I'm
kind of did the
really
opposite.
glad with the design they went with. I can't imagine taking him seriously with all his smugness if he looked like a hippie. He's an aristocrat. I just can't imagine him looking any other way than he does. Vincent's tarot card is the moon. The moon can mean uneasiness, distrust, or inconsistency. I thought the personality of Vincent, who does not speak plainly to others and makes them uneasy, was applicable to the moon. So
Yeah,
I
it was
chose
really
this
good
card.
animation on his face there. He's very expressive.
It gets to me all right. I find it most fascinating.
I'm not sure if I trust this Vincent person. It looks a bit like Bill Murray? I don't see it.
There's one more character I haven't talked about, and it's hard to say if he can really be classified as a character. And it's not Pyramid Head. Woo! I said it's not Pyramid Head.
I forgot about this. This is
Oh,
bad.
okay, wait. I think he wants to tell me something. Heather likes it FDAU? What's FDAU mean? Oh my god, get out of my show now. Anyway, it is easy to see how
Oh god, that was awful.
this sort of character. Of course I'm talking about Valtiel, the odd little critter who shows up throughout the game. Doing stuff.
M-O-O-N spells moon.
You don't ever fight him or really even come in contact with him. He's just there. According to
Yeah, I
Book
like
of
the
Lost
original
Memories,
Stan
the name is
miniseries, too.
derived from valet, and he observes Heather to ensure the birth of God. And he's somehow controlling what's going on. At one point, we see him turning a wheel of some kind.
Boxhead just
The
wants
bodies
to
of
bust
Cheryl
some
and
moves.
Alessa hang from above, symbolizing the fact that Alessa is in an endless loop of death and rebirth. Sometimes when Heather is killed, Valtiel can be seen dragging her off screen, presumably to bring her back to life when you restart the game.
Getting to the
He can also be
reactions to
seen
Boxhead
overseeing the
now.
birth of God at the end. Valtiel doesn't really have his own tarot card, but he's part of the Wheel of Fortune. In the religious tradition native to Silent Hill, Valtiel is a being that is close to the god. In other words,
Boxhead
he
is getting a little
establishes an
inappropriate.
angel. Simultaneously with acting as an angel of
He's
the
just
god,
taken after his
Valtiel
big
takes
brother,
on the role of
Pyramid
watching
Head.
over the body of the mother until the god's revival.
That is some
In
classic
this dream, he
comedy.
continues to observe Heather without harming her.
Love for
When a game
Boxhead.
over occurs, he takes Heather away to restore life to the body of the mother of the god. In this case, there are two meanings to Heather's rebirth. One is that she is reborn as Alessa's reincarnation in the game scenario.
Valtiel has a pair of lips on the side of his
She
head?
is reborn when the player retries the game another time. Another thing that sets Silent Hill 3
I don't know if I remember that or not, but maybe.
is that it has tons of little extras.
Bad box head, go to your room.
Code of some kind that you can enter
Box
when
head for
starting a new game,
president.
and it changes
I mean,
who's
he'd make a better president
and
than
there
our
are
last one,
so
probably.
many that is just insane.
Dragging Heather like a sack of potatoes. Oh, here we go with the alternate outfits.
And because the cutscenes are in real time, you actually get to see Heather wearing whatever outfit you equip her with.
Dodecahedron head.
And you can even change it during the game.
That was some clever editing by me.
What the hell is this thing?
I make it so that every time you see Heather
And
during
one of
this
the
cutscene,
outfits
she's wearing a
is,
different outfit.
Well, this one. It's called Princess Heart. It even has a Sailor Moon style transformation whenever you equip it that is just so out of character that it's awesome.
Oh, okay.
I almost fear that Heather will kill me in my sleep if I force her to look like this for too long. There are also special weapons you can get, one of which is, oh hell, it's a lightsaber, even though they call it a beam saber in the game. For legal reasons, I guess. You can also get this special power called the Heather Beam. Oh, pardon me, Heza Beamu. If she's wearing the Princess Heart costume, it becomes the Sexy Beam. I swear I'm not making this up.
Sexy
Gotta love how
Beam.
ridiculous this looks. Oh, and there's an alternate outfit.
Oh, here we
for
go.
Douglas, too.
Really causes that opening scene to have a different feel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll wait.
My daddy always told me not to talk to strangers.
He's wearing just the tie.
Well, that about does it for this episode on Silent Hill 3. It's certainly not the deepest Silent Hill game. Silent Hill 2 takes the prize for that one. But it wraps up the story from the first Silent Hill game nicely with a big bow. It was a nice little cap to stick on the whole Alessa story, and it gave the developers an excuse to pursue other stories that weren't related to this one. And while there are a lot of little spoilers in this episode, there were a lot of big things I left out, so if you haven't played the game yet, you have no excuse not to check it out. Go. Play it. Now.
Wow.
That's it for now. See you next time.
What did I do for the closing for this one? Oh, right, I forgot. This was supposed to set up something that never happened. Oh, there's my Ravage sculpture right there. Oh no, wait, that's not mine. That's never mind.
Don't go out. Linkara.
Maybe
Yes, you're out of milk.
What the fuck?
Maybe that was my Ravage sculpture. No, I think that was one I bought. Let me turn this down. Whoops. I might get dinged for this. Even though it's just music from the game, sometimes it's still... Where'd I leave off on the chat, damn it? There we go. I mean, some of the alternate outfits look a lot like each other, unfortunately, but not all of them do. I forgot to look at the credits there. Oh. Oh, I wasn't really putting extra info in the credits then. There's the Natalie logo again. Okay, you guys, I'm going to wrap up. I just want to finish reading the chat. Hey, Zappimoo. Miss when games had silly unlockables so you could just mess around and have fun once you'd finished the game once. Yeah. think Resident Evil kind of started that. I adore every game where I can customize my outfits. Now it's paid DLC or microtransactions, yeah. That costume is so surreal in a game like this. I know, and it's so, like, doesn't suit her character at all. We need more sexy beams in games. Murphy beam. Looked like he was presenting his junk when he moved his arm down. I know, that's why I used that clip. It looked like he was gesturing towards his crotch. It doesn't look that way in when he's fully dressed, but they packed those silly costumes in Rule of Rose, Fatal Frame, and so on and so on. Rule of Rose had silly costumes? Hi, Alexander. Happy Halloween. Your timing's bad. I'm almost done. Dina gonna come out of the screen. Stranger danger. I never played Breath of the Wild. Would have been awesome if Team Silent were allowed to create the game they originally intended for Silent Hill 2. I don't remember that. I didn't play Fatal Frame too much. Pretty much nobody is still with the Nostalgia Critic team except for like Brad Jones and Guru Larry. What is the cat doing to that tombstone? Just like putting its paw on it. I tried playing Fatal Frame 2 and it was, at the time I lived alone and it was too scary. And I meant to get back to it once Lee moved in with me and then I never got around to it. Tara, what are you doing? Oh my god, she's such a baby. They might as well rename it back to that guy with the glasses at this point, I know. Unrelated to Silent Hill, but thanks to my Alienation... Oh, thanks for my Alienation reviews. That show is criminally underrated. I know, but I'm glad you like the videos. Was there an alien or a UFO ending, you mean, for Silent Hill 3? Yeah, there was. I didn't include those in these videos because I had so much else to talk about. Oh, thanks, Daskame. I'm glad you like the Alienation videos. Brown can be a chair? What? They gone, buddy. But let's look on the bright side. They gone, buddy. Rule of Rose had an octopus costume? That's so funny. Haunting Ground had a fish costume? Wow. Yeah, Fatal Frame 2 scared the crap out of me. I'm like, I really did want to play it more, but then I don't know, for some reason I just never got around to it. Maybe someday. I could only play them in 1 hour stints. I could believe it. This is without doubt the busiest Dina stream I've partaken in. I know. No problem, Ashtray. Glad you liked it. Oh, thanks, Ashtray. Resident Evil 4 has Ashley dressing in a suit of armor. That was funny. Games need more UFO endings. Happy Halloween. Okay, Alexander, you have a good night too. Games need more bonus silly joke endings. Yeah, they do. Happy Halloween, Total Obelisk. You perm your leg hairs only as an aid to the natural curl. What would I look like as a cat? I don't know, probably like Tara. Don't remind me of Ashley. I never really played very far into Silent Hill. I mean, Resident Evil 4, but I know all about that character and why everyone hates her. Yes, there was definitely drama related to that guy with the glasses. Look up Change the Channel if you're interested. We made a Google Doc. I say we, I didn't really add much to it, but I was there when it was being made. The cat lady needed a UFO ending. Turned out Rita Tickle was from a different planet. That would have been perfect. Happy Halloween, Cal. I think Rita was from a different planet anyway. Thank you. Resident Evil 4 PTSD. Leon, help! I'd look like Garfield. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or an insult. Garfield's cute, but... I would hope I wouldn't be that fat and lazy. Oh yeah, you know, I played the first fucking hell. I'm looking at the fucking words and I can't say them. I played the first Clock Tower game. I think I was trying to say Dark Tower because we were talking about that earlier. I played the first Clock Tower game that was on PS1 and I liked it a lot. And I always meant to at least do a Let's Play of it. That would be a good one to stream, maybe. When you accidentally look up her skirt with a sniper rifle, she says, "Oh, you pervert." I like how Rita wasn't the slightest bit deterred. She's determined to get that babysitting gig. I know. She's so weird and clueless. We all indeed hate Mondays. Well, that's true. Okay, you guys. Thanks for joining me. This was a lot of fun. I'll continue this next week, and I guess I'll continue this until I've gone through all my Silent Hill videos, however many weeks that takes. Because I don't have any more artwork to do, so... Clock Tower lore gets weird. I think I knew that. Oh, and yeah, I don't know what I'll be streaming on Twitch on Monday. I'm sure I'll think of something. Oh, I might do David Szymanski's games. I've been thinking about those lately. I don't know if you guys have heard of Dusk, but the guy that made that had made some games in the past that were really short, and I think they'd be really good to stream. And I think that's it. So, what am I doing? Oh, there it is. Looking for the button. Okay, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Happy Halloween. I hope you all have a great Halloween tomorrow or today if it's still Halloween for you. So, yeah, see you next time.